Greetings everyone, it is Zakhele here. We are back with our weekly videos, and this week we would like to talk about unemployment. We have spoken about this before on the channel, but this time we are prompted by the release of the quarterly labor force survey. And just to run through, the results, right? The main headline results would be that unemployment has decreased, right, from 32.1% in Q3 of 2024 to 31.9% in the fourth quarter of 2024. And this would lead to, even the states or some media houses saying that unemployment has decreased. But the most telling of the results is that the expanded definition of unemployment has remained the same from Q3 of 2024 to Q4, and it has not changed, right? And that definition is what we like to call the real definition of unemployment here at the Free Market Foundation, because it includes people who could be economically active but have just given up on seeking employment. Sad as that may be, given how suffocating the labor market and environment in South Africa is when you aren't employed, especially because the prospects of being employed are quite dim, which is why we even have an expanded definition to speak of. So that is really the headline we should be taking away from these latest results, is that the overall trend of mass unemployment, and it is mass unemployment, the overall trend of the social disaster on our hand has not changed, right? The government of national unity has not implemented any of the recommendations that we at the Free Market Foundation so kindly offered up to them. Chief among them being, the job seekers exemption certificates, which will seek to exempt people who choose to have that certificate from all of these onerous labor regulations, so that they are no longer bound by them, so that it can be easier for them to be hired. Because best believe that the reason why the South African labor market is not as dynamic as it could be is because it is overly regulated. It is because of things like the minimum wage. It is because of things like collective bargaining agreements being applied to non-parties, and a bevy of other problems that seek to stymie the dynamism of the South African labor market, which leads us to this mass unemployment disaster that we currently are faced with. So our government does not seem to have a willingness, to do anything about this disaster. And we hope, right, that's why we do the work that we do in public advocacy, that something will finally, click in them and they will implement the necessary reforms, because it is quite unfortunate when you think about it, right? As South Africans, we are missing out on so many talented South Africans, like millions of them who could be, producing things that we don't know of, or producing things that we know of in a better manner, right? But they aren't economically active. So beyond their, self-sustenance, which is the whole point of wanting people to be employed, right? I selfishly just want to live in a world whereby I get to enjoy the results of other people's work. And when people are unemployed, I cannot get to do that. I cannot trade with them because they are not economically active. They are not producing anything that would make me want to part with the things that I do produce myself. And I find that to be quite unfortunate. That is the biggest loss at a societal level that we are suffering, right? The lost potential, the opportunity cost of it, really, I don't think we can truly account for. But what the quarterly labor force survey shows us really is this continuing overall trend caused by a labor environment and really labor laws that the government is not interested in changing, right? The labor laws aren't on the bill of repeal. No talk of repeal is being mentioned, but we hope that does change, because unemployment is a major social disaster, as I have mentioned. And the fact that we are so normalized to it in South Africa, right? Every time these, statistics are released, it's sort of like, a normal thing that we have close to half of the population that is just not economically active. That is a social disaster that is just waiting to have horrible ramifications on our society. And I hope that our state takes, the issue as seriously as it should be. But of course, we don't like monopolizing the conversation here. Do tell us what you think, right, about the quarterly labor force survey. Do you think that unemployment has decreased? Do you think that the official, for instance, unemployment rate is the one that should be used? We at the Free Market Foundation, well, even me myself personally, right, say that no, the real unemployment definition is the definition that includes people who could work but have given up on work because they could not find it, right? So really, if that definition or rate has not changed, then I don't think that there's anything to be celebrated. Unemployment has not decreased. Unemployment is still a problem. But maybe you disagree. Maybe you think that, there is consistent change being done by the government of national unity, as indicated by, at least the official rate consistently decreasing for the past 2 quarters, right? So, and you think that we are being too harsh. Please do tell us what you think. Do tell us then, also the solutions to, the overall mass unemployment problem that still persists even with the decrease in, the official rate of unemployment. And don't forget to give our video a like, right? Share it with your friends. Maybe they will agree, maybe they will disagree. Subscribe if you're unsubscribed. And as always, remember, stay free.